Yo, what's poppin'? People, your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. And you know how we do before we get started. You know what we do. We like to take the time out to salute you, the people, for taking the time out to watch this video. But while you're here, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section. Because you know that's how we get down. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? And we'd like to thank everybody for the super chats and super stickers on each freaking video. But you know, we can't do a video unless we give a shout out to our beautiful CU aunties, the internet aunties, the ladies that stand up and show out in every comment section, in every chat room. If you don't see a CU auntie in your chat or in your comment section, you ain't doing it right. And if you get out of line in the internet streets, the CU aunties will tighten you up. You know what I'm saying? But we got some mess to talk about, man. Y'all ready to talk about it? Welcome to the lunch table. And boy, the internet is going crazy. I mean, crazy. Not even, not even that. Not even that. It's just I don't know what's up with Cleveland, dog. Y'all tripping. Y'all got the likes of Shedeur on y'all football team, and everybody's acting like they losing their mind. Jimmy Haslam trying to get as far away from the Sanders anything right now. We just want to get away. That man jumped and said, I ain't had nothing to do with that. That's all Andrew Berry. He just threw Andrew Berry under the bus. Said, hey, it wasn't me, that was him. And we all know that was you, Jimmy. Andrew Berry did not draft Dylan Gabriel, then turn around and give up 2 6-round picks to draft Shedeur. You stepped in there, Jimmy, and said, hey, we need to go get Shedeur. I don't care what you got to do. You go draft Shedeur. That's why that picture of them looking stone-faced when Shedeur was announced. Everybody, I heard a few people trying to say that the camera rolled by at the wrong time. No, they knew the camera was coming. They knew it was going to be on them. They were celebrating every other draft pick. They just didn't celebrate that one because that wasn't their pick. That's why they're doing everything they can to make Dylan Gabriel better than Shedeur. That's why he's getting all the chances. I don't want to hear about he was drafted in the 3rd round. They liked him more. Yes, they liked him more, but that don't mean he's better than. I thought the standard in football was the best player plays. But the standard in keeping your job is my player need to be better than the one you selected. Because if the 3rd round pick, if the 5th round pick is better than the 3rd round pick, somebody getting fired. Somebody needs to be fired anyway, the way they are suggesting that in the 2026 draft, they were going to draft a quarterback. But that's neither here nor there. 92.3 The Fan. These guys have lost it. This man wants to know, is anybody trying to sabotage Shedeur? What has anybody done to sabotage Shedeur making it as the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns? Question is, what has Cleveland Brown done to make sure Shedeur has a fair and equal chance to become the Cleveland Browns starter? G. Bush changed the narrative yesterday and told y'all they were slow walking it. And the rest of the Cleveland media has picked up that narrative, except for Mary Kay. Mary Kay and Tony Grossi are still under the assumption and still spouting out the same horrible, weak, unverified trash that Shedeur Sanders is far behind Dylan Gabriel, that Shedeur Sanders doesn't understand the playbook, that Shedeur Sanders doesn't know how to call plays in the huddle or speak the terminology, when everything on the field that we see says otherwise. Shedeur Sanders is not a dummy by no means, but we keep spouting these same points over and over and over again. And like your lying ass president says, if you keep telling the same lie over and over and over again, eventually it becomes believable. Well, we're not going to let that happen. I don't know how y'all let him keep getting away with it, but we're not going to let that happen. But here's Ken Cameron on his show acting a donkey about Shedeur Sanders.
But they are doing everything they can for a guy like the name of Sanders, a star of his caliber. They're doing everything they can to provide the fairest shot possible.
Lie number one. They're doing everything they can to provide the fairest shot possible. Still ain't took no reps with the ones. Fair shot possible. Dylan Gabriel's taking reps with the ones. Several reps with the ones. In OTAs. In minicamp. We, in the first week of training camp, stage 3, and Shedeur Sanders has yet to take a snap with the first string offense. I want to hear he was practicing with the first team defense. That's still not reps with the ones. Reps with the ones are reps with your side of the ball, with the first string. Not playing against the first string defense, playing with the first string offense. Those are first string reps. Those are reps with the ones.
For him, I will take it to my grave, whether it's in the next minute, the next 30 minutes, or the next 30 years. I will take it to my grave and say it right to St. Peter's face. They are doing nothing to try to break a quarterback. They're doing nothing to try to break Shedeur Sanders, especially Shedeur Sanders. For anybody out there who is not a real Browns fan, who might be listening to this, I am telling you right now, shaking as hard as I can.
Red as hell, too.
They are not doing anything to try to sabotage or try to break Shedeur Sanders.
And see, this is where context matters. This is where being different matters. Because to you, they're not doing anything to break Shedeur Sanders. To you, they're not doing anything to humble Shedeur Sanders. It's different for me. It's different for us. And this is where being of a different race matters. Because you see it different than we see it. It's not just me. It's a lot of us. And it's not just all of us. It's a lot of people, period. We all see it. So how can you just say that? But let's continue.
Or to not be fair to Shedeur Sanders. How many jerseys did he already sell?
That had nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns did not help him sell any jerseys. He's selling Cleveland Brown jerseys. They didn't do anything for that. The Cleveland Browns didn't earn him selling that many jerseys. He's selling that many jerseys for Cleveland because he's part of the team. If those jerseys were for any other team and had Shedeur Sanders' names on the back, they were going to sell. So what does him selling jerseys have anything to do with what they've done for him? Yet and still, my answer is he's selling a lot of jerseys. But what does that have to do with the Cleveland Browns? Nothing, because they've done nothing for him to do that but draft him.
How many jerseys did he already sell?
Number one among
how
trophies.
many autographs has he already signed?
Once again, autographs. What has Cleveland done for him when it comes to autographs? Only thing he got to do is show up in Cleveland, in New Jersey, in Philly, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Colorado, in Texas. He just got to show up. Cleveland gave him no benefit to signing autographs. Once again, what is your argument, sir? Because right now you sound like an idiot.
In Greater Cleveland. How many events has he already had in Greater Cleveland?
Oh, how many events has he done in Greater Cleveland? Did the Cleveland Browns participate in any one of those events? Did the Cleveland Browns put any one of those events together? Did the Cleveland Browns show up to those apartments and participate? Did they send money? Did they send a crew? Did they do anything? No. Once again, what have the Cleveland Browns done for Shedeur besides draft him? Nothing. You screaming at the top of your lungs, red as hell in the face. Right now, look at you, mouth just wide the hell open. But I ask you again, when Shedeur Sanders organized that event for that fire that happened in those apartments, where were the Cleveland Browns? See, once again, you giving the football team credit for something they had nothing to do with. That wasn't the Cleveland Browns. That's all Shedeur. Those jersey sales, it's not because he's on the Cleveland Browns. It's because he is Shedeur. Those autographs, it has nothing to do with because he's on the Cleveland Browns. It's because he is Shedeur. So once again, I ask you, sir, what have the Cleveland Browns done that has you so red in the face to where you think you're making a point, but you're saying absolutely nothing, screaming into a microphone for no reason? Have they given him a chance to play with the ones? We all see that he's better than his counterparts. That's the gripe. That's the argument. What are they doing to give him a chance to succeed? See, because Dylan Gabriel was playing with the ones in minicamp, in the OTAs. Shedeur ain't played with the first team offense yet. He played with the first team, played against the first team offense defense for the first time. But yet and still, you screaming for nothing. Come on, let him finish getting it out.
How many events has this man already? How much charitable contribution has this man made to society?
And once again, where did the Cleveland Browns come into play in any of his charitable contributions? He's been in Cleveland for 3 months. He's visited kids. He's visited high schools. He's held a public event for a disaster that happened to an apartment complex. And once again, I ask you, Ken Carmen, where were the Cleveland Browns when all of this was taking place? They haven't shown up for Shedeur yet. And you upset at us because we saying, hey, what y'all doing over there? When the whole world when the entire sports complex, everybody is asking the question, what you gonna do? You get mad at us for asking the question? You sound like your president. They want to know about the Epstein files, but he want to tell them about Jupiter and Mars. Don't deflect. Answer the question. You talking about all the things that Shedeur has done since he got in Cleveland. Once again, sir, I ask you, where were the Browns in any of these activities? Nowhere to be found.
Over the last umpteen years here, or at least the last 4 since he was at Jackson State, and certainly probably before because of who his father is. How many things has he done? They're trying to break Shedeursanders after the cloud this franchise has been under over the last 3 seasons. They don't want that guy to be a franchise quarterback for him, the team that's more obsessed with finding a franchise quarterback than any team out there. They don't want Shedeursanders to play for them. Please, if you are not a real Browns fan, and I understand that many of the people who are saying these things aren't, and they've just looked at the Browns as not a good franchise and something they have not paid attention to. I don't want to tell you to pull your head from your ass because I want to be inviting to you.
And see, this is where we ask the question. You got your own local host, Garrett Bush, asking the same questions. What y'all doing? Because we've heard the lies. We've heard the stories. We've seen it. But when everybody, not some, everybody is asking the same question, what we doing? What's going on in Cleveland? Why is Shedeur not getting first team reps? When your owner tries to back away from the situation and throw his general manager under the bus and say, hey, I had nothing to do with that. That's all him. See, but we want to, everybody goes to the, oh, he's a 5th round draft pick. But everybody in Cleveland radio and Cleveland media has also said he's not your normal 5th round draft pick, because we all know he shouldn't have been in the 5th round. But we also all know why he was drafted in the 5th round. But he's your 5th round draft pick. You tell me, when you go find your 5th round draft pick on any of the other 31 teams and go to their website and tell me if you see that on their team's website of their 5th round draft pick. Tell me, when you go to their 5th round, when you go to your team's website, do you see their 5th round draft pick right there doing that? But you keep trying to tell me he a 5th round draft pick. They ain't doing nothing to sabotage him. They trying to help him. Go to your other teams when y'all out there visiting for camp at your team's merch shop. Let me know if you see your team's 5th round draft pick with 2 jerseys in their merchandise shop, the home and away jersey, while the best player on their team only has 1 jersey in their merch shop. Their best wide receiver only has 1 jersey in their merch shop. See, you keep trying to tell me he a 5th round pick, and we keep calling you a lie, because we know he's not a 5th round pick. But then again, you act like nothing's wrong. Cleveland's all right. Cleveland hasn't done Shedeur Sanders the proper service that's due to him since he was drafted by them. We all know Shedeur Sanders is better than Dillon Gabriel. And we're not saying Dillon Gabriel is a bad quarterback. We're just simply saying Shedeur Sanders is better than him. Shedeur Sanders is better than Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco is a vet, so we don't bother with that. It don't even count. But when you gonna do something? When you gonna do the right thing? When are you gonna stand up and tell your general manager, your head coach, that they're not doing right by Shedeur Sanders, instead of arguing with the public when the entire public is telling you that you're wrong? Even your co-workers, the shills and all of that crap y'all try to say. You know, you should Switzerland up in this joint, remember? Pick a side. Don't be Switzerland. Drop your nuts. Be a big boy. At least Tony Carosa got the nuts enough to ask the questions. He ain't scared. He picked a side. You know, he know where he stand, and he know where he think who's better or who he wants to see shine. But the proof is in the pudding. It's obvious. But they gonna keep trying to hide him. But you mess around and let him play in the preseason, and ain't nothing you gonna be able to do at that point. Joe Flacco might be in danger. You figure deal me. But anyway, man, I just wanted y'all to see a man whole face get red like an apple. Cause he mad. Cause people trying to tell people their eyes are lying to them. But, you know, we sat down. We had something to eat. We had a little snack. Had a few cookies. Now we finna go throw our plate away. Put out the trash and clean the table off. And set it again for the next one. Thank y'all for joining me at the lunch table. I'm out. Peace.